absurd throughout this match so far. And actually, this guy is gonna last minute stick on it. Yeah, it is. The Mr. Fantastic is lasting. Last time out, it had very little impact, but it does seem like something that maybe he wants to run in some of the early fights. And an immediate portal. They don't want to face this in the normal realms. They want to go from behind.
Yeah, and a strange pick as well that isn't going to be persistent. The Venom taken instead. They just need to wait a moment to allow Venom to close that distance. He'll be swinging into the site any moment now, and then the whole crew can start to make this push happen. It's going to be Mr. Fantastic as a second tank, essentially a half tank, coming in to back them up already. Wing Shuriken landing a ton of damage. This is the man we want to be on board with. November 24 absolutely annihilated his opposition in the previous game, and we heard it in the interview. We don't know why anyone would leave this hero open. Well, it's been pushed a bit off rip. It's happy to coming in with the pick, a response as well from Gnome, and they have pushed these attackers back, not back to their spawn though, but back to where that portal was earlier.
Oh dear, the strategists have not been left to help out their vanguards, and it's left a very awkward battle and escape being attempted by Ripasuko. That early success that he found in pretty much every single map has been slaughtered, and this is the thing. You can remove the likes of Adam Warlock. You can try and do damage to Happy, but it's just so good. Fair play, Flo. A nice 1v1 battle that goes his way.
Yeah, it's not easy to win those fights. I mean, obviously you got Psionic Vortex and Force Physics to do damage, to position those players. You can pull them back into your Psionic Vortex. That's exactly what we saw. There is November 24 showing up and taking down the backline Storm. A lot of the damage out of play. Eternal Bond in, the heals, the damage being done. It's forcing them back. And on this defensive side, they actually go forward. They decide to take the fight right to their opposition. Invisible Boundary in play, keeps the defenders alive for at least a little bit longer, allows them to push deeper into this fight, but the same comes in return. It's a stalemate. It results in a slow fall back. The thing almost goes down, but somehow is kept alive. Not for long though. With Flo and November 24 falling, this battle is soon to come to an end. Down goes another healer, and down goes the thing. Another reset for the side of that attack, and now, well, Euphoria, they get a moment to breathe.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying as well that we've already witnessed an attempted change. Like, we've spoken about Ripasuko's Venom throughout the day, but they changed almost immediately. It didn't work at the initial dive, so they swapped things up to try and sort what was going wrong. They even got the initial pick onto Happy, who caused them problems in the first battle. They still didn't win. They still didn't manage to get much done on that initial site. And now just look at these passive positions currently being held. Neko's put that shield up just to give the DPS a little bit of an extra chance. A really good take though, and now Gaia's with ult in hand. They've got to try and remove this before too much damage is done. And I'll be honest, I think the site could already be gone before they even get close.
I'm gonna turn sideways to reduce the hitbox. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, the site indeed has been lost. We saw it taken over. We see 1-0 on the board, and that means that the statue of Bast is ready to walk on forward. Interestingly, the statue itself walks, which I only noticed recently. The little hologram, look, he's physically walking. That's cool. The more you know.
I do like this map a lot in general, just because of the sort of map effects that can come into play. At every single stage, there is something that can stand in your way, and maybe getting towards the gravity that forced them into the air. This battle, is initially going quite well for JT, but the heals are there to support, make sure that the thing will not fall easily. They are trying to make this one a little bit tougher. Again, Gaius has gone back over from Hela. Think about that Hela ult and how impactful it was. He's gone back to Mr. Fantastic.
We'll see. Perhaps there is some benefit to it. But right now, you look at the defensive side. All 6 ultimates. I mean, the Eye of Agamotto, goodness gracious, is about to be online. You're going to have a ton of options. The question is only how Euphoria use them. For now, they are falling back, letting them in, dodging the clobbering time for the most part. Only the one player caught in it. The heals can be focused. Invisible Boundary goes up. Shield in play for Doctor Strange just to block the damage. Now they move in. This is where the ults come into play. Eternal Bond is chipping away at their health, but the same has been put down in response now. Goddess of Death. No, in fact, no. It will be the Omega Hurricane that's put through, finding one, almost managing a little bit more. The damage boost comes in as the invisible boundary fades away. No more healing, and now the damage is being done. It's delivered all the way with the Goddess of Death. Maybe not even needed there in the end, but certainly cementing the victory.
That was such a fun fight, just because you mentioned that the defensive side had all the ults built up. So did the attack by the time they actually got into the fight. So that was everything for everyone. Sure, 1 or 2 ultimates are starting to come back online, the thing with clobbering time, but you start to look at that timer, 50 seconds left for them to try and get that extra little bit of chip damage that is enough to maybe get one of those high impact ults back online. It's starting to get a little bit dangerous for FunFun, but again, the supportive heals have been fantastic. Clobbering time, it does manage to get one, but it's immediately traded out. The Hellas with a killer piece. Another coming up for Happy once again. This guy always seems to make the headlines as those daggers landing every single shot. Give this man an opportunity to hit scan, and he will find you those eliminations.
Yeah, with the pressure put on the tanks as well. You know, someone like Guys is trying to deliver those shots back in return, but just can't do it with the shield in his way. The portal taking the highlight here is going to be used to quickly reposition with their force back. He's in stuck the floor. It's blocking them from getting through. What in the world? Okay, it's taken a minute, but they're here, but they fragment on the way through, trickle into the site, give opportunities. Luckily, that's all being reset on. The damage re-healed, and now a big fight on the side. Omega Hurricane having been used. The attackers, they're losing. They're losing their tanks, both. The heals were not landing. They're being blocked. A step forward from Doctor Strange as well. That shield just stopping any projectiles from making it through, isolating the players on the point, and the payload will move no more. That is a solid defense.
Oh, yeah, really nice. I love as well that you have this sort of 1-2 punch between the two duelist players, where you have Storm, who's a lot of the main viability comes off playing with the team, like having that damage boost, giving your teammates that extra little oomph. And then you had the other side of it where Happy is playing super passive. So you're trying to deal with this Storm and you're being peppered by daggers from that backline. It was a lot of sort of aggressive bans coming through to try and make this fight a little bit more awkward, and it definitely seems to have done the case, because I think that Happy, of course, and ASD just did a fantastic job. But again, though, it did seem to come down to a lot of the timing of those ults. Like, I do think that's where Euphoria have been better than any other team in the tournament, is they are very patient. Like, they will happily let you use your ultimates first in order to try and get theirs in at the exact prime moment. And it's risky. If you get it wrong, you lose. Like, maybe you lose a play you shouldn't have done, or someone falls in the wrong moment. You get it right, as they seem to do a lot, and you win those fights 9 times out of 10.
We're going to see these changes again until those doors open, and even then, I don't know that Happy
they're
will
not
be
playing
sticking on the Doctor Strange. That would be a questionable play, to say the least. But a portal will be set up now. They'll look for the teleport. We'll see likely even more changes. Happy will swap, but yeah, ASD is also going to change. Triple tank is not really the play either. But now they've got the damage. See what Happy swaps to. Probably the Hela. And then, yeah. The only thing is, Happy's going to take a while to get back here. Remember, it was Venom, so he could quickly make that relocate, because the portal disappears once you stop playing Strange. So for now, they're in the backlines, but they're -1 duelist, -2 now with that pick, and this has gone badly wrong.
This is not a hero that we've seen too much of. The Squirrel Girl coming through for Guys. It's something that has a high amount of overall damage, but at times it can be difficult to get those pickoffs through. But clearly just, I guess, struggling maybe a little bit more with some of the duelist heroes on the other side. So just looking for that all-out raw damage.
Well, it is just the observation that they're moving as a pack, right? And Magneto's not going to be able to absorb as many of those acorns as previously. Don't know why it took me so long to think of the word acorn, but there you go. Attack side on their way. They're making it up the ramp. They've touched the point. Now it's time to dive on down. Magneto gonna have to put his life on the line. We've seen this from JT before with the Thing. Was a monster, but now that little bit of a buff to Magneto, making him a squishy killer, and he's already claimed the life of one. Happy was putting up one hell of a show. That's all there is to say about it. This should be a complete reset again. The defenders pushing this clock way down low.
They've done well. I always like the fact as well that we're seeing a lot of the players of the thing really target those squishier characters. Like having this haymaker can do such a high amount of damage if you are the healer in the backline. The Eternal Bond is going to be utilized. The Meteor in attempt to try and delete it. It lands. The Kobe from afar, and that now makes this site take so much more difficult. This is looking perfect in the hold once again. A third attempt and a third failure for this attacking side. Thinking something might need to change.
Yeah, you look at what the defense has to work with as well. They weren't feeling much pressure when that push came through. We're about to have the ult online for Squirrel Girl, but you look past that. They've already got Cloak and Dagger. Didn't use it in the previous fight. Great detain, but they have to fall back. Goddess of Death was used here?
Yeah, that was Happy's ult. That's nowhere near the action. I think that must have been a misclick because that has now left Happy completely out of this battle. We're going to see everything being spammed through. The Eternal Bond placed onto the site. We're going to see Dance of the Flowers being attempted to do some damage. The same can be said for the Hurricane. Just looking to try and clear as many players as humanly possible. Euphoria are investing so much into this. This needs to be the battle that they take, but they're still struggling to clear this man from the site. JT, once again, just seems to pick up so much value on this Magneto. That is a 3-kick from him. And it's done, I think. That's them out of this battle once more, and resetting might not even have enough time.
30 seconds. Look, they'll be able to get boots on the ground, but it's got to be an all-out rush. Again, the change to Doctor Strange. They know they can't get through that choke point. They've tried, and it did not work. Instead, it's a Strange portal. They're going to take the opposite high ground, try to battle this out from afar, but 10 seconds left, and it's them that need to get down on that site. That's a problem, because Squirrel Girl just got a pick. Here comes the Squirrel Tsunami, and it's unbeatable. Taking down another. The damage being dealt. Euphoria, the clear favorites, we thought, but it looks like we may be proven wrong. This is another fight that sees so much at the disposal of this defensive side, and there it is. The dance of the butterfly put through. The damage dealt should be way too much to recover from. And sure, some players are on their way back. They've got some responses of their own, but what can they really hope for? It needs to be flawless. It's getting close to it. 2 quick picks, 3 picks. They might be back in this one. They need to deal with JT. JT's picking them off again, though. And that has saved the day. What a game to start off this grand final.